so glad I finally got a bloom on my purple coneflower. I've tried for a couple of years to grow purple coneflower, but either bunnies or rats or something are coming up from the wetland and eating the tender young leaves. They're quite a tasty morsel, I think. Then earlier this year I planted a pipe vine on this trellis. Pipe vine is the host plant to the several swallowtail butterflies, and I have seen some swallowtails through here, so I'm trying to entice them. And a pipe vine is a very unusual plant to grow. The blossoms look like an old man's curled pipe, so I'm kind of anxious to see it. Oh, look, there's a ladybug on that sunflower. Where did he go? Oh, I guess she went around the corner. And of course I've got porterweed down here that I'm stepping around. It's just kind of taken over everything. I cut it back quite a bit to get the pipe vine in. My American beautyberry has come back from the hurricane. The hurricane knocked it down quite a bit. We set it back up. It hasn't bloomed yet this year, but I'm hopeful. The growth on it is really nice. This is my wild lime tree. I've kind of pruned the lower branches off to keep it more of a tree. I'm seeing little flower. It's going to bloom very soon. So, and it too is a host plant for swallowtail butterflies. Different eastern black swallowtail and other swallowtails. And I'm hoping to see some of those come through this summer and help themselves. I planted some sunflowers from seed earlier. They're about to show off their beautiful bloom. This is a Bahama senna. I just put it in, also a host plant. These milkweed right here, I put these in earlier because I had some that are covered up under here somewhere. Yeah, there's a stem from the gaillardia. The gaillardia just takes over. Now they're saying gaillardia is not a Florida native because it's grown. They found it everywhere. So mine got very tall this year. I think my soil must be too rich for it, but aren't those blooms beautiful? And the butterflies like to come and nectar on these and rest on them. It's just so beautiful. But I had some caterpillars working over, I don't see them on there right now, but they probably crawl up into the gaillardia for the evening or to rest, or they go up there to shed their skin when they grow into their next phase. There's a lot to learn when you start a garden like this. So many things I didn't know about gardening in the tropical or subtropical area. This is Ruila, Mexican sunflower. Well, not a sunflower, Mexican petunia, I'm sorry. Back here is my goldenrod. Bloomed very nicely at the end of last year. In front of it, I planted some ironweed, which I'm hoping will hold the goldenrod up, because goldenrod tends to want to flop forward when it gets the tall spikes on it. I'm looking for some Joe Pye weed at the nursery, but I didn't find any there yesterday. So that's pretty much the back part of my garden here. On this side over here by the palm tree, the triple foxtail palm, I planted these dianthus last year. I think they came back beautifully. I kept them clipped up, keep the dead sprigs out of them. I wonder what happened here. One of my foxtails fell. Oh, he was damaged by the storm. And I had another one here. It just adds that little spark of pink in there. One thing I wanted to do, get you dizzy, moving you too fast. Over here on this side, my vegetable garden is over here. And it's to the end of its season. I've stuck in some onions here at the end, and I've got a few carrots in there yet. The carrots were very nice. Huge fennel plant, which I basically planted for, it's a butterfly host plant, different butterflies and moths. But this beauty here is a starry rosin weed. So gorgeous. Grows nice and tall. It will spread, it will seed. This is like the second blooming on it. Back here I have a red-tipped cocoa plum. I'm beginning to see some blossoming on the stem, and the leaves that come out in the spring are red-tipped, and they add a bit of interest to it also. I'm interested to see if any cocoa plums actually do develop on this small bush. And right in front of that, I've got what they call a rice button aster, which bloomed very small, and now it's sent up these tall spikes. I think this will get about 2.5 to 3 feet, which is almost at that now. So we'll see how much taller it does get. I have some pentas over here. Thank goodness the caterpillars haven't found these yet. These are holdovers from last year. And this little beauty is my sweet almond bush, it's called. Gives off when it's all blooming, it gives off a wonderful fragrance. The wind blows it and you can smell that everywhere. As you can see, I've got some dollar weed. It's everywhere here in Florida. If you have a little moisture in your soil, the dollar weed finds it. This vine, I planted on this trellis. This is called the trumpet vine, and it comes out so late. It has just, I kept thinking it was dead, and I asked at the nursery and they said, no, ours are just waking up too. So it's finally decided to send out some fresh growth. So I'm hoping to keep it on the trellis and not on the stucco. I don't want to ruin the stucco on the wall. My plumbago is just started with a little bloom here. So beautiful. But this will all be covered. As we get more sun and warmth, this plumbago will cover the whole thing with those beautiful blue flowers. This is Threalis. Gets these lovely yellow blooms on the top. These are more tropical. They're not Florida native. I did stick in a few tropicals here and there because I liked them and I thought they were pretty. This is my gardenia bush. It did really well at first. It got knocked back when I moved it. Apparently it doesn't like to be moved. It did start to grow back up. I had one bloom already. I see we've got some more coming up. And they smell wonderful, but unfortunately the bush is very low to the ground. Oh, something's been nibbling. I better check that out to see what that is, if that's a caterpillar or if that's a rabbit. I would say it's probably a bunny. Testing it. We have some bunnies in the yard. This is my Carolina jessamine. Bloomed earlier, beautiful yellow blooms. And I think that's the end for the blooming on this. I don't think it'll bloom again. I'm not sure. We'll see, but it's beautiful. And a lot of these vines I just grew here on the side of the house because this is the east side and it helps to cool the house. It helps to cool the block in the hot summer sun when you have plants growing on it, shading it just a little bit. And I couldn't plant trees very well. It's too cramped in here for trees. So I decided to go with a few of the vining plants up trellises. So we'll see how that goes. And this is my Laura petalum. Got some beautiful pink frilly blossoms on it. I just think those are so beautiful. This too got damaged in Milton. He blew pretty hard from the north, and so we got some damage on this side of the house. This is my alamandin bush, which I understand can get very tall and become a vine, but I cut it down, trying to keep it in control here, trying to convince it to grow laterally instead of straight up. So we'll see how that goes. I like to experiment with plants. This is a chrysanthemum my daughter gave me last Mother's Day, and that little sweetheart, I stuck it outside and it is still growing and blooming periodically. I cut it back when the blooms are old, and it just sets up more bloom. I don't know when how long they'll bloom down here, but I'm testing the waters a little bit. These are my African iris. This one, I had two. This one did not bloom. This one bloomed. Right now it's between blooms, but the end of this stem will bloom here. But this is the end of one that just bloomed last week. And over here I have my Maypop passion vine I planted last year. And the Gulf fritillaries pretty much ate it up. So I went back to the nursery and got some corky stem passion vine, and they've been eating on this also. I had some caterpillars up here yesterday, but I don't know if I can find any right now. But the corky stem does not bloom the beautiful purple flower. It gets a very small flower. Oh, there's one. Can we get it to focus? Come on, camera. I can't find it anymore. There it is. Last year at one point I counted something like 30 of the caterpillars on here, and even some chrysalis were hanging. But butterflies were kind of hurt with the hurricanes that came through last year. Kind of knocked their populations down a little bit. So we're trying to build those back up. This is my oleander plant, about to bloom. Get some beautiful pink blossom there. This is on the east side of the house, and it's shaded by our neighbors, which is a tall house. So we don't get a lot of sun on this side, just barely full sun. This is my strawberry plant. Not had any strawberries because the birds and the animals, these are an ever-bearing strawberry, and we can't seem to get to the ripe berry part because the birds and the other animals help themselves. So I guess I'm growing it for the wildlife, but it's fun to grow. These are my cannas. I had to rework from last year. They got way out of hand. We're about to get another beautiful bloom up there. So that's going to be about it. We're walking around to the front of the house now. So I'll leave you with the shot of my east side of the house, my beautiful Carolina jessamine, and my other plants in the back that are coming into their own this season. So I'll let you know when we have more activity in the yard. Thank you. Bye-bye.